Hi, my name is John Sullivan. I am a very proud resident of the city of Marana, or the town of Marana, as they still like to call themselves, but that will grow into a city with a population of approximately 250,000 people in my lifetime. And hopefully, there will still be a solvent Pima County around when that happens to support such a city. Now, one thing I noticed when I first walked in was that we have a bunch of government employees who are providing jobs to the community, such as the people who are wanting me, even though I don't beef on the security, the people who are collecting $3 for the parking for me to attend these meetings. And it really is kind of inconvenient to have these during the day, because during the day we basically are working people, and I'm really here to represent those who are not. I do want to thank Victoria Steele for warming up for me. She was one of the very few speakers today who was able to fit in the time limit by the green light that you see when you are speaking at the podium. And unfortunately, there were quite a few people who really didn't have much to say, but they did occupy a lot of red time. And perhaps there should be a provision where people who run the red light could be ticketed by the Pima County Sheriff's Office. That would really be nice. I would like to just take an opportunity to say I really did appreciate that the meeting opened today with the Pledge of Allegiance and with a prayer or invocation, praying for, I guess, the agenda, which is, I guess, very appropriate since the agenda apparently needs a whole lot of prayer. Outside the windows, if you look in the building itself, which is a very, very expensive, lavish building in which the supervisors meet, you can see beyond the pane glass windows a whole bunch of people who are unemployed, they don't have a job, they have nowhere to go, and the county, as far as I know, is not building nice multi-million-dollar tents for them. No offense to Amy or Officer Bond or anybody else that has a dog and likes to bring them into church and into Prize and into the County Board of Supervisor meetings. But this is really kind of unique in Pima County, because if you go out into other counties in the country, you're not going to see such an emphasis on dogs and pets and cats and all those sorts of things. So I understand that it is a local issue of high importance, or as Supervisor Elias would like to say, community values. My community values actually are a little bit different. I don't think that we should actually have one dog under public housing until we take care of this homeless population we have here. What we need to do is make Pima County more competitive in other parts of Arizona and other parts of the country in order to attract real jobs here. It does not help when the sign that the other industries and other corporations interested in Pima County are seeing is that the county is suing its most productive members. That's not really a very good sign for Tesla or anybody else to want to come here to Pima County. And I really want everybody to rethink that just a little bit. Even the town of Marana itself is a little bit over-invested in government at this time, but I understand that the government will not grow, but the jobs will. What you see behind me is a multi-million-dollar complex which houses a whole bunch of empty space, rarely occupied by workers, but the workers that do work here do so at the pleasure of the citizens of this great community. And even Marana itself can go a little bit overboard in government, because if you look around, somebody wasted a whole lot of money building signs that said, entering Marana, leaving Marana, entering Marana, leaving Marana. Now, Marana itself is currently a checkerboard of both unincorporated Pima property interspersed with the city itself. And we don't need those signs to know when we're leaving Marana and entering the county roads, because the roads themselves will let us know when we're out of Marana city limits. And I strongly object to Supervisor Carroll and others taking money from this district. It's badly needed to provide the infrastructure for this growing population in order to satisfy the local interests for those districts in which they represent. And speaking of Representative Carroll, I would just like to say very strongly, it is very disrespectful for both you and Supervisor Valadez to get up and walk away when Pima County Supervisor Miller is speaking. There was a great emphasis placed by Chairman Elias in maintaining decorum and respect for the speakers, and I think that should really start on the podium with the supervisors themselves. I do appreciate everything that's going on here, but you guys really need to take a good look at what we're doing as a county. We are definitely going way in over our heads in debt. We really have no money for any of the pet projects that you guys are considering now, to include dog shelters with visions out 50 years of where the population of unwanted dogs may be by then, we really need to actually understand that there's really no excuse for this county to be the laughingstock of Arizona, to be further in debt than all the other counties combined. And there's really no reason to even consider solving that problem by making this community unattractive to business by raising taxes. The only thing you guys can really do is tighten your belts, develop a budget that's very realistic and in line with what private citizens such as myself are living through. And believe me, I do get government. I was in the Navy for 20 years myself. I was supervising multi-million-dollar projects, including ship repair out of San Diego for a large class LHA. And I really do understand how government works. I understand that it's all paid for by hardworking taxpayers. And as somebody who, both in active duty and in retirement, is paid by the taxpayer, I do appreciate that you're paying for that. And I thank you very much for your support of the United States military. And I would really like for the people that are in county government and all city governments, in fact, to really be mindful of the fact that you don't have a blank check. This money has to come from somewhere. And if we continue down the line where we are continuing to make Pima County unattractive to businesses in relation to what other counties can provide around the state and around the country, then we're going to be in very, very dire straits. And I really don't want to see that. There are actually 5 very good reasons I can think why people should move to Pima County. Unfortunately, I can think of 11 reasons why they should not. And 4 of those are actually on the county board of supervisors. In time, hopefully, the people will come to their senses, and 4 out of the 5 that are currently being very rude to the one functional and responsible supervisor will be let out of office by the voters. And really, that's not my call. That's really going to be the call of the constituents in which they reside. But we really need to look ahead and see what our future is going to be like on the current trajectory. And everything I see without the famous Alley Miller spreadsheets is still leading to doom and gloom ahead. And raising taxes, as I said again, is not going to be the way to do this. We need to do this by smartly spending and investing our money, realizing there are limits, there are no blank checks, the money has to come from somewhere. And if we take it out of our future, then there will be no future for businesses in this county, because nobody will want to work here and nobody will want to be here. And all your wonderful monuments, such as what you see behind me now, will have defaults on their bonds. We really need to be very smart about how we invest our money. We need to make this a very business-friendly environment, such as what Marana is. And we need to plan ahead and be competitive. And once again, take the time to be grateful for the supervisor that we have up here. And do not allow the disrespect towards her that we are seeing in the arena of decorum. Thank you very much for listening. God bless.